All right. Yes, we back at it. Market Mondays. We are on the road again.
What's new?
Yeah, for sure, man. On the road. Shout out to everybody in Cali. Shout out to Yaz, the whole UTA family. Shout out to our Revolt family.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Baron Davis. I didn't get a chance to link with him, but spoke to him yesterday. It's my guy.
Yeah,
Shout out to Tip.
Shout out to Tip, man. He's on his comedy tour right now. We're gonna check him out hopefully this week. But he hit me with some financial tips last night. I was like, oh, okay.
Can you drop one?
We'll get into it. Maybe we'll get into
Okay.
it. It had to do with automation and trucking. So I was like, he's
amazing.
Serious. So it's interesting. Shout out to his son. He just had his 21st birthday the other day. Pulled up on us.
What? We getting old, yo.
Yeah, shout out to Damani, man.
Yeah,
we pulled up and watched.
Damani 21?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
He's doing his thing. And shout out to everybody that checked out the Steve Harvey episode. Shout out to Steve Harvey. Shout out to Tabiti. Shout out to Ali. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to his whole team, man. That was a game changer. Arguably one of the greatest interviews of all time.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Top two and it's not two.
Yeah, over 500,000 views the first week. Extremely, humbling. But let's push it. Let's push it to 1 million views as fast as we possibly can. If you have not saw the interview, check the interview out. It's definitely one of those ones, man. It was a very, very proud moment for us. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to our Black Effect family. Shout out to everybody that made that possible. That was an extremely dope moment. Shout out to Steve Harvey for being so gracious with his time. Check out that interview. And if you watched it, watch it again.
Hey, in the first 2 minutes, if you listen, I said, this is one they're going to be talking about forever. This is like one of those bookmarks in the history of EYL. It was incredible. And it was crazy because my parents were watching it and they text me, like, we live in the same home. They text me like, oh my God, this was so incredible. And then right after they said it, Shotty's pops text us like, guys, that was incredible. So like, that was it. Like I said,
how does that feel?
It was incredible, man. Like when and anytime you can make your parents proud, even at our age, like we just working and grinding for our last names, but to see our parents be proud of the work that we're doing and to see everybody's reaction to it, it was like, we kind of knew like this one was going to be special, but actually seeing the people and getting to interact with people and them saying like, that might be the best interview I've seen ever. Like, excluding
when you called me, you was that excited? I was like, man, I know this is going to be the one.
Yeah, no, that meant a lot. That meant a lot to us. So thank you for that. I'll get into this quickly. We got a big week this week at EYL. So this is the first episode. We shot a lot of content in London, and this is the first episode that we got out of that. So Anton Dixon Bella he's very similar to, they call him the Tyler Perry of England, and he finances all his own movies. He's doing movies. He just bought a TV lot, like a mansion that he's going to turn into a TV lot,
like a studio lot.
Yeah, it has over like 20 million pounds worth of real estate. He's a heavy real estate investor. He does cameras too, so he has the camera lens company that like Ozark and a lot of Netflix. He controls the whole supply chain.
He is the supply chain.
Started out as a
director.
That's
crazy.
Yeah, started out as a director and saw like where the money was being spent and said, why do I have to spend money when I could create it? And just had that that innovative mind to say like, all right, why pay when I could create? And just kept doing it. So like now with the lot, like a lot of people know about what Tyler Perry's done in Atlanta. He's now doing in London. So if you don't know, they're gonna find out.
It's very similar to Tyler Perry's path. It's very, very similar. It's like Tyler Perry's path. Like finances all his own movies, he used to do rap videos. Now he's doing movies. But finances it, has the camera. He owns the camera company, owns a camera lens company, has the production company, just got the studio lot, is renovating that, going to turn that into a mansion where they can do content and do events and things of that nature. Very similar to Tyler Perry's story. He was featured in Forbes, a big deal, a real big deal.
His first feature film's coming out too.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that.
So that's dope. So that's at tomorrow, 8:00 American Eastern Standard Time. Maybe we should drop that a little earlier because that's going to be late. That's going to be like
for London, right?
Yeah, drop early. I think so.
2:00 in the morning. Yeah, we'll put it on Instagram.
Shout out to the London team. They shout out to the Lord Dial. He texted me like I had to stay up to 3:30 to watch that Steve Harvey, but I couldn't miss it. So yeah, maybe we gotta do something special for the England.
Yeah. But so that's tomorrow. Make sure you check it out. And shout out to my brother 19 Keys, off to a great start.
Can we talk about a classic?
High level conversation.
Yo.
Can we talk about a classic?
Yes.
Shawty, go ahead. Then
Nah, that was one of the ones, man, where sat down and it was just extremely, 19 Keys, I always knew he's talented, but his production quality was really what got me.
Incredible.
Like, put a lot of time and energy and budget into that. Invest in yourself. You want to put out the best product possible. And, that's part of being an entrepreneur is that, nobody's going to hold your hand. Nobody's going to just give you, gifts in this game. You got to make everything happen for yourself. And he did it. And, that just seeing that first episode lets me know the direction that he's going to go to with his high level conversation. So check that out. It's on our YouTube channel, our podcast outlet. Shout out to my brother 19 Keys for pushing the culture forward. And shout out to South by Southwest. That's my last thing I want to say. Shout out to Ian, Wall Street Trapper. Shout out to Bun B. Shout out to Toby. Shout out to United Masters and shout out to Ally. John Henry Buster. Yeah. That was extremely dope situation. We did it South by Southwest. Maximum capacity. Another, classic moment. Shout out to The Source for covering. I think Vibe Magazine was there. The talk of the town for South by Southwest. A lot of people said that it was the best activation in South by Southwest.
Respectfully.
So I'm kind of reviving South by. It fell off for a little bit.
Yeah. So
put some energy into it.
Love is love, man. We looking to do a lot more things like that in the future, but it was good to happen. Good to see Wall Street Trapper and Ian on stage together for the first time, actually having a conversation with Troy. So it was dope, man.
Yeah, man. And speaking of South by, shout out to our Ally family. So real quick, Ernest, I want you to know about a great choice if you're looking to bank or invest. Ally is a leading digital financial service company with passionate customer service, innovative financial solutions, and are relentlessly focusing on doing it right for both customers and our communities. Get with Ally so that you can save, invest, and spend on the things that matter most to you. For everything we need, we're all better off with an Ally. Shout out to them. Shout out to Erica, who pulled up on us at the dinner, the welcoming dinner. That was pretty dope. We met some cool people at the welcoming dinner. And again, shout out to our team, Dave, John, Ryan, Eden, everybody that helped put that South by Southwest situation together, man. It was incredible. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. All right, Ian, floor is yours.
Disclaimer real quick. Let's do it, man. Let's do it real quick. Do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for the informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment decision based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. Good folks, keep doing what y'all doing. I know y'all doing the research. And we appreciate that, because after you do the research and you execute on the information, you tell a friend to tell a friend. And that's how Market Mondays grow. So we appreciate y'all wholeheartedly.
Ian, floor's yours.
Everyone has been asking for a deal for Stock Club forever. So maybe we can drop it in the chat. So for 7 days only, it's never going to come back. Let's do what we originally did and make Stock Club $297 for the year.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. So I know a lot of people will put it in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll have the link in the description of this video. And that was like 2 years ago we did that.
Market Mondays Live, Houston. When you come, you will get access to Stock Club for a year, Sniper, a weekly Stock Club call, and then I'm going to do a Q&A session for how some people in Red Panda, including myself, have made a lot of money from trading. So if you haven't got your tickets, please do so. You'll get access to all of that a week after. So for those of you trying to get it now and not come, gotta come to the show.
and don't if you're not gonna come to the show, just get the deal for Stock Club today.
Yes.
Don't waste the ticket because it's gonna sell out. So don't waste the ticket just to try to get into Stock Club. Like it's the deal that's happening today. That's why. So it's like, don't take an opportunity from somebody that actually
someone else
that could actually make the show.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you guys. I know people have been asking for slides to come back for a minute. I think it's long overdue. So
we will be covering some happenings that happened in the market too. I know a lot of people have questions about it. Very interesting situation with the Bored Ape Club. Their Ape Coin.
Yeah, you spoke about that at South by
Southwest. Yeah,
and it was interesting because it happened as we were about to get on stage. And so, shout out to Buster for putting us onto the information, but the way that it happened, it was just like, oh, this is information we got to tell the people right away. And that's the thing, like we never hoard information. As soon as we get it, we're giving it out to the people. So yeah, we definitely got to touch on that.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that was in on the Bored Ape and was part of the Ape Coin process. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was an interesting conversation that we had about that. It actually went up. He had mentioned it on South by Southwest stage, and then the next day after it was up 125%. and then it went down now, but it's still up from when it originally came out. It's like at $10 right now. I think it debuted at like $8, something like that, or close to $6. So yeah, the Ape Coin is extremely interesting. Maybe we could talk about that before we end.
All right, let's get to it. I know we haven't done slides in a while, but I want to give some of you some praise. Shout out to this brother. I mean, he said, I made over $2 million from this team, and I don't know how to thank EYL and Ian Dunlap. Thank you by executing. I think that's the only thing we can say is thank you. Send me your email, DM me, and I want to get you an assets over liabilities hoodie. I'm going to pay for it. No, Mike Trevor shot. He can't get it for free. I'm gonna pay for it. I want to get you a Red Panda hoodie, and I want to do something special for you. But thank you for executing. I think this is amazing. If you want to be the next person who makes a bunch of money from listening to the advice, please put "this is amazing" in chat. I want to shout out to this brother. He said, "Don't put my name up," but he said, just by listening to the Master Investor, Earn Your Leisure, and Wall Street Trapper. I mean, he's up 98.5% on Tesla, 37% on Microsoft, and 29% on Apple. I think that's absolutely amazing. And kudos to Deshaun Barnes. He said he made 30,000 just listening off of Market Mondays and a post that we made on social media. And I want to reinforce to you guys that although there's a lot of information online, the purpose of all of this is to be able to make money and take care of your family. So I want you to watch. I want you to enjoy and have a good time, right? But I also want you to execute, because that's the most important thing. And here's an incredible one to wrap up. Brother made 300,000. And look what he said. We've never met. Gave free advice on every Monday during COVID. And look how Market Mondays, EYL, YouTube, and this show has changed his life. So for those of you that are executing, that we see, Troy always talks about it, you guys are pulling up to us and showing us your reports, and you've done the work. That's absolutely amazing. Listen, excluding nobody, I think this is one of the greatest entrepreneurs on the planet, even though he doesn't get celebrated as that. And they had one of his best interviews ever. These are, so when you go and watch the interview, I want you to do a few things. I want you to watch it 3 times. First, I want you to watch it for all the advice that he gives. Second time, I want you to watch for the performance part, because Steve did an amazing job at telling in very entertaining stories, being very relatable. And then in the moments when he talked about the IRS story or how Marjorie changed his life, look at how he projected and performed well on camera. I also want you guys to look at how Troy and Rashad were graceful and not trying to eat up attention, because a lot of times when people are doing these interviews, they'll try and interject or overtalk the guests and not let them have their moment. I think you guys did a masterful job at giving him room to breathe and having an amazing conversation. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall, but go watch that 3 times. And for the third view, go capture everything that you missed. But these are my 5 biggest takeaways from the episode. Number 1, you have to keep people around you that are going to find the next big opportunities for you. So when he was talking about Tabiti and he said, hey, I gave him some money to invest in the market and he 10x'd it. That's incredible, because now he has less work to do. Join angel deals. He found them. So a lot of you are asking, hey, how can I get on? What can I do? The best thing to do often is to bring someone a deal that is irrefutable. And you heard at the end of the episode talking about NFTs. Hey, Troy Rashad brought value and gave him an idea, and you can see his wheels turning. The way to get into the building or be close to the people that you want to be next to is bring them value first. Number 2, the person that you select to be with will have the biggest impact in your life. There is no prosperity without peace. Look how he talks about his wife and how she helped change his life. And when he was going through some of those issues, let's be very honest, most people would not have stuck by his side. The person that you choose to be with is going to have the greatest impact on your life. Please never forget that. Number 3, and this is a lesson that I had to take to heart. Every bad day that you've had, you have 100% survival rate of those bad days. I want to say it again. Every bad day that you've had on earth, you've had 100% survival rate of those bad days. It will always get better. The sun will always shine. and be like Troy and activate your Troy joy every single day to live your best life. Number 4, the only thing stopping you from succeeding is the number of reps and your fear of failure. So oftentimes we want the accolades of doing well, but we don't want the failure or the public humiliation. And the truth is, there is no success that you are going to achieve without some failure attached. Go to the part of when he talks about how many shots Michael Jordan missed in game-winning situations. Very telling. Whatever you do and whatever success you want to achieve, you're going to have to fail some in order to get all the answers that you need to succeed. Well, when we're in Austin, Rashad and Troy and Trappers coming back, and shout out to all of you that caught me in the lobby, and it turned into a little bit of a thing. But I want to share with you one of the biggest lessons from the Red Panda midnight meetup that we had at South by Southwest in the lobby. I have to say this. Please write this down. Do not short Apple or any of the top 5 stocks that are publicly traded. I was talking to a brother, and he said, hey, man, I'm thinking of shorting Apple, and I think he already had a position in it. And I was like, hey, if you do, only short for a couple of days, because when you are saying that I'm going to short a top 5 company, you're basically saying my money is more valuable than all of the billions of dollars that hedge funds and pension funds have currently in the market, and it's a recipe for disaster. The top 5, regardless of any era, you traditionally just want to be long. For those that are of lower value, maybe you can short those, but overall, you do not want to short those. So let me give you a little formula. Look at what the historical drawdowns are for the stock. And if the drawdown is less than 20%, stay away from shorting it. Second, you want to make sure that the drawdown is between 35% and 55% if you're going to look to short or do puts on it in order to be safe. And you still only want this to be a short-term investment. You don't want this to be a long-term investment. Anything, any asset, you want to be long it majority of the time. I know some of you want to time it because of recession in the Ukraine. I get it, but you're going to lose more money going against the trend than you will going with it. Later today, I'm going to put in the chat how to find the number of institutional investors. But if you go to NASDAQ, you can easily find that. But I want to give you guys the exact link later. And really quick, I want to go through 20 charts. I know I didn't get a chance to last week, so I want to do so this week. So let me pull up Thinkorswim real quick. Let's go through POTR really quick. And only thing I want you to look and see is the direction up or down. If you know how to drive a car, you already know how to tell direction. We've seen Palantir hit a high of 45 back here. It hasn't done so since. You want to stay away from companies that are not traditionally going up. Even in a down market, you shouldn't be drawn down that much. So let's go look at my baby Square. It had a nice little bounce recently. It's coming to the upside. Square had some trouble. Wait till Jack reveals what their plan is. I still think Square is amazing. But give it some time. And for those of you who are in it now, you send me some messages Friday saying that you're happy that it was starting to rebound. Gap, let's look at Gap. Kanye had an incredible impact on it, and then we started to tumble. But what is the overall direction? You always want to go to that 5-year month to tell what the direction is. Let's go look at Unity Software. And Rashad made a great point during the summer. He was saying everything is too high. So let's look at Coinbase. Is Coinbase up or down? If we look at the direction of the market, we can see that it is down. So when you guys are going through and looking at your 20 stocks, you want to make sure to find some hidden gems, because there are some companies that are going up. And look at this. Etsy, great company, been driven down. Red candles, how I teach Xander. Red means down, green means up, or in this case, white is up. Etsy is having a little bit of a tough time. Let's go to Chewy and zoom through these. Chewy is down. LCTD went to 46.70 and it had a pop. 40.79 and had a pop of 44. So we're at an interesting place to see some of these stocks are going to begin to rebound. For a quality company, you're going to start to see them go up. For those that are not quality, you're going to start to see continue to fall. ARK, of course, we talked about before, is down. Let's go through Facebook. Facebook is slowly starting to get back on its feet. Let's look at Netflix. It's looking tough for Netflix because of the amount of debt, and we'll talk about it later. At some point, Netflix may have to just acquire a studio to get these costs down for these shows. Look at Plug really quick. Plug had a hell of a run, went to 75, slid down, it's slowly starting to recover. Maybe around 15 or 18, I would like it, but anything higher than that, I would not touch. Let's look at AMD. AMD is holding on steady, not back positive yet, how it should be for the month, even though it's a new month. Not there yet, but it's slowly getting there. So go through 20, write this down, go through 20 stocks per day so you can find a hidden gem. And you see Tesla's moving to the upside. It was at 751 down here, and now shot up to 928. Great move. And then lastly, my baby, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is making a great charge. So the point that Rashad was making earlier was, hey, everything is kind of overinflated. And as a result, he was right. And now we're going to see the quality stocks rise and those that are not good fall. I want to address something, and then to Troy Rashad, I'm gonna tell you thank you for all the kindness, grace, lessons, advice, everything. Right? I know everybody was like, "Yo, you got a leather jacket, gonna go pineapple with that," right? Not gonna go crazy. I want to be very respectful to the mission that we have, the Red Panda brand, EYL brand, and the mission that we have. But I want to address something really quick. I want to say that the purpose of Stock Club is to buy stocks to allow you to be free. And as of recent, a lot of people have been talking, and I guess the new thing is to make videos to talk about us, to make their brand, hot or relevant or give them some shine. And I was upset, but Rashad gave me some good advice, and he's like, "Look, listen, this is what comes with the territory. Talk to peace. Hey, this is what comes with it, right?" But I want to tell you guys have to be very careful of people trying to dissuade you from us. Because they want you to follow them. Just be careful. I will say that. So I want to play you guys something real quick, and then we're gonna get on with the rest of the show.
Yo, Ian, what's up? I was actually hoping that Troy would pick me today on EYL because I wanted to have a heart-to-heart with all of y'all, but he didn't pick me, so I decided I'm gonna send this message to you instead. And basically, what I want to say on EYL is, man, I don't think y'all truly understand how y'all changing people's lives. I know y'all hear that all the time. You get your ego stroked by people saying, you've changed my life. But I'm telling you, from somebody who's been killing people for a decade, you truly are changing the community. You are truly changing people's lives. You have single-handedly changed me and my family's life. I know, again, I said this before, I know we don't know each other in person. I know we never met in person. Tell you, man, I appreciate everything you have done for me. If it hadn't been for Market Mondays, if it hadn't been for you showing up on there and speaking the way you were speaking and educating people the way you were educating them, I would probably still thinking about staying in the military and being miserable for the rest of my life. But you started dropping these gems. I started listening. You gave me an opportunity to be in the Red Panda Club when I didn't even have money to get in. So thank you. Thank you for the bottom of my heart, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You really have changed my life. My son looks at me in a different way than he did before. He's not even talking about joining the military, which I'm so grateful for. He sees me as like this amazing investor, even though I'm not like balling or anything, but I'm making moves. And he's seen it and he's proud of me. And I love that. I love that. The fact that I'm his hero now. And that's 100% because of you, man. Not only that, I know I've been silent recently. I know I'm not at all on Facebook really, but I have adopted a lot of your strategies. I am moving like you're trying to move. Well, I'm trying to move like you've been moving. So I've been patient. I've been trying to be as silent as possible. I still be getting on IG though and be trying to, make my posts and shit. But I'm trying to cut back on that as well. But I'm on this path, man, and I've adopted a lot of your strategies, and I'm starting to see this stuff come to fruition, and it's fucking amazing, man. It is amazing. It is amazing. So thank you. I don't know if you ever come to Colorado between now and May, but if you do, hit me up. If you're ever in Orlando after May, hit me up, man. I'll show you a good.
And I know a lot of you thought I was gonna come on here and rant and rave, but we're past that point. The only thing I want to say is, where did things turn for you? And I know there's a lot that some of you be like, yo, I don't like your delivery. But in 2020, 2021, things are so dire. Man, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of times when people are in a position of power or have knowledge that most people don't have, they don't share. And when I see that people are taking it for granted and want to take this platform and turn it into gossip, right? I'm gonna be honest, before we did Market Mondays, most people who were Black weren't even comfortable speaking in Black vernacular when it came to investing. So if those were your words to me, and I helped change your life, and I gave you Stock Club for free, I want to be honest with you, man. I love you, but you lost by not listening, and you lost by trading options. That's it. I'm not going to rant. Shotty, you my guy. Troy, you're my guy. Like, you guys are never going to hear me rant again. For what? Because those and Red Panda family, earners, I love you. Everybody was like, yo, we rock with you. We support you. Man, I'll support y'all too. But this is why I always tell you guys to invest first, master your craft, because when you do, you don't do these kind of things. So let's be honest. If I did something to you, brother, or any of you to upset you, I apologize. But when you join Stock Club, you are joining Stock Club to get the best picks in the market, the prices. And I know it's a big thing that even if I fall off of the damn rocket with Elon, I better make Stock Club call. Great. All right. I'll make it no matter what. Right. But that's not offering friendship. A lot of times people want to be close. And the easiest way to be close to me is to be a good person and to do the work behind it. And I gave deals to help the people, and the same I'm gonna do tonight. And then people complain, well, he changed price and gave a deal, or the price is too much. Listen, enjoy the show. If you can't afford it, I'll find a way for you guys to win anyway. 2 tech, 2 index, no stress. Shotty's giving you a blueprint. He told you at the meetup, man, I only take 12 to 13 trades in a year maximum, 3 this year so far. That is a gem. Troy, if you saw him at Market Mondays in Apollo, the boy that gave you the blueprint to win. And I'm going to be real. Troy came out the gate MVP, Rookie of the Year, 6 man, like every award. He hit a number that most people in their first year, let alone 10th year, never hit. But this is the reason why I never do any scholarships. One great piece of advice I got from Gary Vee, when I was out there with him and Rance, he was like, people don't appreciate the free. No matter how great it is, they're going to have disdain for you if you give it away for free. And this is one thing I want to say. I want you to notice, no one ever says that I lost the money while people are on these campaigns, right? And here's how you know. If I would have lost someone money, I'm from East Chicago, Indiana. Some of my family still in East Chicago, Indiana to this day. I only want people from the Midwest to speak. If I lost people from money from East Chicago, Gary, Calumet City, Chicago, let alone if they were GDBD's vice lords, what would have happened to me? They would have come to see me. I'd be dead. I'm gonna be real with you. I would be dead where I'm from. I only want the Midwest to speak on this. If I lost somebody some money from Detroit or East St. Louis, Ken, tell me what would happen to me. We're doing everything that we can to break these generational curses that you guys want to say that you want to break so bad, but we can't have this. And I want to say this. If all it took was Google and YouTube and going to the library and reading a couple of books, why haven't most people gotten rich from what you learned from Google and YouTube? If you saw Troy's portfolio, legendary as that Steve Harvey interview, right? And this is what I don't want to happen. And this happened at Art Basel. I appreciate you guys for allowing me to speak there, right? A lot of people came up to me and said, hey, man, I wish I would have just listened to your blueprint. I'm down 80,000 in options. I'm not railing on options, right? But there has to be a matrix. 90% of your money has to go long-term. 10% of your capital has to be saved for trading. So if you're trading futures or options or both, only 10% of your overall capital can go into that. What I don't want to happen is in 5 to 10 years, you guys say, man, I could have got rich if I would have listened to you. And I'm one of the few people that screams, man, scream yes if I made you money. Put yes in chat if I made you money. That is a potential liability. Because if I'm not delivering, somebody can get in the comments and say, man, he up here ranting and raving and lost me 92,000. You haven't seen that. That hasn't happened. So I just want to remind you, Deshaun made 30,000 here listening for free. Stock Club has made 62 millionaires. I can't count the number of people that made 100,000 or more, right? But the only ones that are winning in real life, the ones that are winning in real life have no issue with me. I've said it before. Josh Bonawyn, Mike Novogratz, Josh Brown, man, Chris, Ari, man, one day let's get on and have a super episode. Like me, Troy, Rashad, Ari, Tay, Chris, let's go crazy. Because the ones that can actually trade, they have no issue with me or with the good brothers at EYL. And once again, I'm going to say anybody that talks to you about investing, these are the questions that you have to ask. One, are you financially free? How many people have you made millionaires or even thousands? I'll say this, anyone who doesn't like me, understand. I'm working on eliminating my Dame Dash and activating my Rock and Kevin Hart. I'm learning, right? Can you give people 10 stocks to invest in that I didn't call and make the money for free? And are they better at me at long-term investing, swing trading, or day trading? In our community, we feel like if somebody's at some proverbial top, that we have to compete against them. That's not the way. There's more money in collaboration. And if you haven't hit your mark personally, and this is advice that I gave myself when I was down and out, your lack of discipline is keeping you destitute. So yes, you want balance, but until the bank balances are right, you have to work your ass off. These guys have a packed schedule today. I won't tell you how many interviews they have. It's LA time. Like, yo, they record all day and all night. They are like the Tupac and Future of content creation in the financial space, right? The answer is to do work. And there's millions to be made here. Man, there's no need to compete with anybody. I want to say this to the audience. Lastly, you can follow whoever you want to. And the ones that are great, I've already called, right? But you can't learn how to get rich from someone who is broke. The winners focus on winning, and those that don't focus on those that do. And if you've been around me for years and you haven't gotten rich, that is your fault. I've given you everything, every answer. I told you about when they were going to recreate dinosaurs and the China and Russia thing, and it sounded like a movie. Shadi told you damn near to the T, like a Liam Neeson movie, what was going to happen when Trump got out of office. Troy has told you election cycles. Hey, here's how to play this. He's called Thermo Fisher when nobody else was calling it. What else do you want? But this is the big trick. Everyone's trying to get you to not listen to us, so you can listen to them. And then when they lose all your money, they're going to say, hey, nothing in investing is guaranteed. Then we just go through this with options last year. Be mindful. And if you fall for it, that is on you. That's all I have to say. I love you all, even those who don't like me. The last thing I want to say is I love you dearly, and I wish you well. And thank you for this. You'll never hear me rant again. I'm good. I love you. I hope you win. Here are the four to invest in if you're in Canada. So we have a couple international viewers who are like, great. I've been hearing you scream about VOO, VTI. What is the Canadian equivalent? So write this down. VFV is the S&P 500 equivalent. Number two, VDY is a high dividend yield investment that you can make. Number three, VGV is the Canadian government bond. And number four, VRE is a real estate ETF. So there's been a lot of debate on if you should go for a short target or a bigger target. And I'll do a more detailed breakdown of this at Market Mondays Live in Houston, right? But the answer is for the next 180 trading days you have, I want you to only go for big targets. I've talked to 2 or 3 people who said they've left if they started with a small account, let's say $5,000, they left between $50,000 and $90,000 on the table, not going for longer targets. And for those that have bigger accounts, like 100 to 500,000, they left up to $15 million on the table, not going for bigger. I know it gives you more heart palpitations to go for a longer target, but you want to have your money work for you and it actually be an asset. Because if we look at it, scalping actually is a liability. Tune into the new seasons of Assets and Liability on Revolt coming soon. But you have to go for bigger targets exclusively. If there's one thing I can do over, I would have you guys do that. JP Morgan's, well, one of the guys, that Marko Kalanovich, doesn't see a protracted bear market or recession coming soon. We'll see. I think we're going to have a dead cat bounce. I told you guys, look for 39 on the VIX. We hit there. Now we're going to see the market pop up in our favor. Now, if we can break through some key levels, let's see if we can stay to the upside. But until we get this China, Russia, Ukraine, love triangle worked out, we won't be back to the upside for a long period of time, but we shall see. What do you think about these three stocks? Everyone's asking me about Lockheed, Raytheon, Northrop. I think they're great, but you don't want to hedge based on defense on going to war if it would not be a primary in your top four. So regardless of what's going on, can these three be Apple, Microsoft, and Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon? If not, I would not place them there. But overall, they are safe defensive stocks. Saudi Arabia, oh God, we'll talk about this in a second when I get off of slides. But Saudi Arabia is attempting to swap the dollar for the Chinese yuan. Oh my God. If this happens, and I talked about it before, if we get removed as a standard for the petrodollar, we can be in trouble. But we're going to talk about this in a second. The three commodities you should add to your watch list. So we talked about this briefly at South by Southwest. For those of you who missed it, I want to give you three that you can focus on. One, live cattle futures. Number two, platinum. So of course, gold has went up, but you can also trade silver. And one that's not talked about a lot is platinum. And then number three, corn futures, ZC. Look at that market, look at that 5 year, tell me what the overall direction is, and tell me how you would trade it in chat. Should I use a wide stop or a short stop when trading? I'll say this. You still need to practice your 300 trades. But if I had to do it over, I would start everyone on a wider stop. So if your stop is too tight, that is a trading liability. Now, you don't want to have it so wide that you'll ruin your account, but you don't want to shorten the probability of you wanting to trade. Have any of you ever, like, let's say in the futures market, been in the trade, you had a stop, it hit your stop, and then all of a sudden the market rockets up 300 ticks, and you're like, oh my God, right? Just widen your stop a little bit. If you're doing NASDAQ, 80 ticks should be more than enough, maximum 100, and then from there, you'll be good. Shiba loses 30,000 holders in a single day. Be mindful of the ones that were supposed to go to the moon. They're bottoming out. If any of these get back to 2 cent, 4 cent, I wouldn't mind Doge at 4 cent. Shiba, I'll put a price in next week that I like, but be mindful of these that are falling apart. If we can get them at rock bottom prices, it'll be a good place to possibly invest. The 4 sites to use to know what insiders are doing, please write this down. Number one, insidemonitor.com. For those who listen on Apple, inside-monitor.com. Fintel.io, openinsider.com, and senatestockwatcher.com. Those are the 4 sites that I go to see what the insider activity is. And I want to remind you of this. You must hold stocks for 1 generation if you truly want generational wealth. Investing is really simple. And any brand shows this. Like Vince McMahon has not sold WWE, right? Any major brand people are trying to hold on to for a lifetime. Any 4 companies that you believe in, hold them for 30 years and you'll be A-okay. Don't deviate because all the money is in holding long term. Here are some safe stocks to invest in. Google is one. NVIDIA that I talked about earlier. Intuitive Surgical, Apple, and Microsoft. Troy Rashad also give the ETFs they like in a second, but these are a few safe stocks that I absolutely love. Here's some dividend stocks. 1, Texas Instruments, amazing. Number 2, Home Depot. For those of you in construction, I tell you all the time, how do you spend that much money at Home Depot in supplies and material, but you're not investing in the company? You're making them rich. So you should get rich from where you're buying the materials. And if, let's say, a tenant doesn't pay, Home Depot should be paying you enough where you won't even care if a tenant misses a payment. Invest where you are buying. Apple, of course, number 3, and then Waste Management, is the last one. And lastly, I love you guys so much. If I've made you money, put yes in chat. We are going to focus on prosperity and profit over propaganda. But let the people know if this is real or not. If Market Mondays has had an impact on you, Red Pandas had an impact on you, please put yes in chat if I made you money. Love you guys. Over and out.
Yes.
Yep.
Gotti, you can breathe, right?
Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. I think, I'm always on the diplomacy side about understanding, like, you gotta address certain things when it needs to be addressed. So I think you did it, in a very tasteful manner. And most importantly, just provided information. I think that's the most important thing is like, Market Mondays, EYL, it was never built on a get rich quick scheme. Like we don't have anything where we're saying EYL University, this is how you're gonna make $1,000 in a day. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's really like, built around business principles, built around investing. And I mean, if you listen to Ian, he always talks about buy Microsoft, buy Apple, buy the S&P 500, hold it for 20 years. It's not doing anything that's gonna be detrimental. QQQ, we talk about like, these different funds, Franklin Dynatech Fund, like, these are things that's been around for 20, 30 years. Like, so it's like, yeah, self-responsibility is a major thing. But my whole thing is just briefly, if you don't like something, it's okay to just have an opinion. But I just don't like to you don't have to lie to make your
flat out lying.
You don't have to lie to make your opinion, because then you just kind of, it's just not true. Like, as far as people saying they have affiliate links for EYL University, and I never gave anybody
an affiliate link. I don't have an affiliate.
I never gave anybody an affiliate link. Troy,
Mike
Matt,
Bam didn't give one.
Yeah, so it's like
Matt didn't give it.
If we didn't give it, how you have one? And let's say hypothetically you did get one, why would you not just reach out and be like, hey, look, I got an affiliate link, I didn't get paid? Like, I have no idea. That's just like, something that's not true. People saying like, well, they give advice and they're not licensed. How many times we gotta go over this? I've been a financial advisor for 12 years, FINRA registered. I still have a securities license to this day. You can check the FINRA record. Never had any issues for over 12 years of practicing and managing people's money. How many times we gotta go over this? People were saying like, whoa, you could pay to get on their podcast. No, nobody has ever paid to get on the podcast. There's no proof of it. But we live in a day and age where you could just say anything. And it says a lot about the times that we're in. And me and Troy, we didn't start from this, as far as internet marketing. We started like in a classroom and learned like, oh, this is actually something that is actually a business. So, a lot of this stuff is like, I can never understand. It's just a different era, different generation. It's like, you build a platform by speaking about other people. It's just something that I just could never understand. We never did that. If that's what it takes to get views, then I'd rather just not even get views. Like, it's not really that serious to me. But, to each his own, but, just be mindful, because, I just feel like whenever somebody's like always saying somebody's name or just, putting false information or misinformation and things of that nature out there, these are the same, it's like 6ix9ine. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are some people at like, it's just the same situation as 6ix9ine. That's what you see. And you see it in rap. You see people like build their platforms in rap, talking about rappers saying Fat Joe's a snitch with no paperwork, coming back, retracting the statements. The thing about it is like, even when you say like, yeah, Joe's a snitch, he's not a snitch. There's no paperwork, but somebody's going to believe it because you said it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you can come back and say, oh no, there's no paperwork, or and then, but it's like, once you put that out there, and I just feel like, it's just something that it's unfortunate, but we see it in our culture the most. But and then, people entertain it. And there's always going to be a certain level of toxic people that they rather just be entertained than make money. And, that's something that, it's a circus, but only clowns entertain a circus. So, that's something that, we personally, it's just a different code of ethics. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a different code of ethics. I don't think anybody has traveled more than us. Like, we literally in a different city every single week.
They're in a different city working.
Like, and it's open public, all of our locations. Like, we're doing this event, we're doing a networking event. We've been in Detroit, Chicago, Miami, Philadelphia, New York, Lagos, Nigeria, London. And it's just positive feedback. Like, yo, I started an Airbnb business, I bought real estate, I bought Tesla stock, and I made money. QQQ, thank you. So, the real is always going to prevail. And no matter anything you do, there's going to be some level of hate. What Pun said, they even hated Jesus. you that comes with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That comes with it. And it's just like false information, trying to change the narrative, trying to paint pictures for own personal gain. It's part of it. It's part of the game, man. It says a lot about the times that we in. But, you know, hopefully we can all rise above it. But at the end of the day, we still pray for them. We pray for everybody, because I understand that a lot of things is psychological. People go through different things, and you know, it's hard to kind of overcome things. And especially, like, you know, as Black men, it's a lot of trauma. It's a lot of things that's still not really, you know, uncovered from childhood issues and different things of that nature. So I really feel like empathy. I really feel sorry for people that, you know, take those kind of routes, or, you know, have that level of misunderstanding. You know, I pray for understanding. I pray for understanding for not only us, but I pray for understanding for everybody. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what we're all achieving. You know, and we're not here to try to, you know, beat anybody, or, you know, do anything. You know, EY University, the most affordable situation ever in life. And yeah, if you don't want to pay, then just get it for free, man. Like, people talk about affiliate rates and all of that. Like, if you don't want to get in a program, there's information that nobody on the internet has given more information for free. So just get it for free. But it felt like, you know, like I said, it's just, you know, people
will complain about us not doing enough free, and then we do Market Mondays free.
So
it makes no sense. Like, and that's what I'll say. If there's areas for me to improve upon, I have no issue with that. I have no issue with being wrong. I want to be very clear though. I was an entrepreneur prior to you guys knowing me. B, this is why a lot of people don't want to be seen, because of this riffraff, right? So, and then thirdly, I want to say, if people tell me, hey, I got in Stock Club, I was with you for a year, I made no money, man, hang me to the cross. You know how that's not true? There would be a ton of women putting me on blast on Shade Room if that was the case. Like I said, where I'm from, I wouldn't be able to walk through East Orange and Brooklyn and all that by myself if I lost people a bunch of money. I wouldn't be able to go to Chicago, East Chicago, and Gary if I lost people a bunch of money. Those from where I'm from, they know it's true. Like, I wouldn't put my family in jeopardy doing that. And for those who feel like we're competition, there's way more money in collaboration. But if you do want to beat me, or you want this throne, and if you think I worked for 14 years to be the king of the Black investors on the internet, that ain't my goal. I'm telling you. But if you want to beat me, just give people the best results. If you make people way more money, you're good. But the ones that are making money, they don't operate this way.
Yeah. Much success to everybody, even if you wish us the opposite. Yep. Like I said, like you said, all we've ever done is try to collaborate and uplift our people, highlight the people that are doing amazing things. We're gonna continue to do that, man. Like I said, people from a distance are gonna tell who's who, and so we're never gonna deviate from our mission, man. As I said, we're not gonna get distracted. We're gonna stay focused and keep giving what we're supposed to. Right, that's our purpose here. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the earners. Shout out to Red Panda family. Shout out to everyone that's here to provide information to help uplift our people, man. That's what this is all about.
It's open court. The last thing I say about this is, you know, I know it could be entertaining to get caught up in gossip, rumors, and things. It could be entertaining, but especially for men. Just think about it. If you're a grown man and you rather be entertained by grown men talking about other grown men, as opposed to trying to find ways to provide for your family, this is the reason why you're in the place that you're in. And like I said, these are the same people that'll be the 6ix9ine. So anybody that's even entertaining that conversation says a lot about you. I spoke to my brother Wallo a while ago, and he was like, yo, my whole thing is, if I lost you, I never had you. Those ain't your people anyway. Anybody that's gonna even
that's a quote.
Anything that's even gonna entertain that level of nonsense, that's not even the kind of people that you even want in your circle anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? My thing is, like, if I think, all right, I'm not rocking with Ian, I just won't rock with him. I'm not watching it. I'm not gonna go and put comments and do all of that. But like I said, it says a lot about the times that we're in. We're from a different generation, a different era, where it didn't grow up like that. And a lot of these people didn't grow up like that either, but now they just adopted this. And, you know, I could see if you was 10 years old, if you were 15 years old, but if you're 48 years old and you're doing these kind of things, it's sad. But
or if he just said, yo, his attitude terrible. Point for you, win. I'm working on it, right? But point for you, okay, great. But and even with the Ian's getting cocky thing. No, you guys are saying things about me that's not true. and then I'm shooting back, then it's an issue. Okay, great. I'll be fake. I'm gonna be real. This is why most entertainers and those that are rich never say anything to the public.
No, Jay, this is Jay, this is Nas, this is, like I said, they from that era, and it's like you make a YouTube video, somebody doesn't have anything to do with the YouTube video, but you put them in the thumbnail, you put their name in the caption just to try to get views. If you over 40 years old and like, you know what I'm saying, you gotta, but like I said, God bless. I hope everybody peace and prosperity.
And we're gonna do more.
Hopefully, you can make some money. That's the most important thing, man. Provide for your family. And if you could live with yourself, then by all means go for it. But just
Market Mondays Live, single mom, please come to the show. I want to take care of your bills for the year.
Yeah.
I want to see who helps.
And I do a financial planning call, like I said, from me being a licensed financial advisor, which doesn't even mean anything because there's people that are financial advisors that don't know anything. But if I wanted to do a consultation, I could charge anywhere from $500 to $1,500 for an hour. If we do EYL University, the average person paid anywhere from $99 to $700 for the whole year. And I do consultations every single month for 2 hours on my call, let alone what MG the Mortgage Guy gives, let alone what we do with introductory to stocks, let alone what Troy does with the book club, let alone what we do with every single week, have different classes on credit.
With options.
Like people, man, sooner or later.
Ask Weezy, you think Charlamagne will lie on my behalf? He didn't have to do that. Charlamagne told, I made 100 something grand in 2 weeks. Weezy took 10 grand and Nelson look good on you, baby. Studio look good. Like, come on, baby, what are we doing? But namaste.
Enjoy it while it's here. It won't last forever, man. And that's just know that.
What project say?
Know that.
What project say? Do your thing, I'll do my kids. Stay out of my way.
But
I'm learning the truth. I'm slow.
We're gonna keep going, man. You know that.
And we'll have conversations in person at some point with different people. Like I said, we're not hard to reach. We outside a lot. We everywhere in America. We run into people all the time. But before we go, Yacht Club situation, if we can. Very interesting. I spoke to Keys about it. So Buster, he was telling me about it. I know how Ian feels about it, so I won't get his hopefully he wasn't go full. But it's interesting. Take the emotions out of it. I think it's a very interesting play. What they did was, so they have the NFT. Obviously, they have 3 versions of the NFT. Mm-hmm. And what they did on, I believe it was Thursday. That was that Thursday. Yeah, Wednesday. Thursday. So the day we had the activation is they dropped their coin. Yeah, the Ape Coin. And they airdropped every single holder of an NFT got airdropped coins. And depending on how many NFTs you had, then obviously you got more coins. But it's like one of our friends has one Bored Ape, and he got airdrop coins. And that coin, when he got airdropped, it was worth he got $70,000 worth of coins. Some people made up to like 60 million, depending on how many apes you had. And like I said, just taking emotion out of it, I thought it was a brilliant idea and a really a game changer, because it's like, all right, now you're rewarding your community in the form of cryptocurrency, and it hit all major platforms. That's very rare. Like it hit Coinbase, Binance, all major platforms on day one, went up 125%, went down after that a little bit, but and it's like, I'm assuming for all future like events and different things of that nature. So now what it's, you can see something that actually started as artwork being turned into a community that's actually being turned into something that can actually be physically valuable on a broad range e-commerce situation. So I thought that was something. Even Keys, he was like, yo, I can't even knock it. Like that was dope. Like that was a smart move.
It kind of answers some of the things that we used to question. It was like, well, yeah, this is a piece of art. It's subjective. How much is it really worth? But when you put the coins in place now you can see the next play is like these coins will grant you access to certain utilities. And so now it kind of starts answering those questions. Like, yeah, you have the art piece, but now you have coins that exclusively get you into events that I'm sure that they're going to be having, and meetings that I'm sure that they're going to be having, and certain specific things and travel that I'm sure that will be having or coming in the next few months that they're going to announce. And so it kind of answered that question a little bit. It was like, all right, we can't knock that. You can't knock that from that standpoint.
Yeah, the rollout was great, even though some of the undertones I hate. It goes back to the point that I made a few months ago that every brand is going to become a hedge fund. the business that everybody's going to be in, especially when things are rough as they are now, who can help their audience make the most and give them the most exclusivity. So from that standpoint, from a branding and a marketing standpoint, I think it was brilliant. Because regardless of what you say, if somebody drop you 70,000, may make you smile a little bit, let alone a couple million. So it changes the perspective of like, hey, so we've done it in our own way and giving cash ups and stuff like that. Great, but to do this at scale and now certain benefits are being unlocked. And anyone that's, in the PlayStation system or Xbox, this is like a physical version of that for adults.
Yeah.
Like any kid I tell about it, they're like, that's been happening when we're gaming, but now it's being done for an adult audience that isn't exposed to that market. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, I don't want to but I just it's interesting, and I think that it was definitely well played out, well thought out, and definitely something to at least cover because we have to be neutral as journalists. So even if we don't fully agree with everything, we got to at least cover the news and give unbiased.
And the returns have been great. I just don't like some of the undertones, but I'm gonna be honest. People will look past improprieties if they're making enough money. I even know some black people that had it like, I know the ape thing you talking about, the racist, but the value of it. So it depends on which way you want to go. But in terms of return, you can't knock. And then how they put that community together it's a great case study to follow for sure.
Yeah. Can we touch on something real quick?
Absolutely.
One of my picks that I've been invested in for a while, and I talk to people all the time about it. Live Nation, and it probably went under the radar, but they did a deal with Verizon today, and so that is kind of interesting, right? Because when you think about a large entertainment company and a large communication company coming together, where are they going with this? And so obviously we know Live Nation has entertainment and concerts, and you connect with the 5G company, and so now what does that do? That brings concerts and entertainment directly to your cell phone, directly to your computer. And so when we start talking about the metaverse and spaces like this, you can kind of see like now you can actually be in this space and now view concerts. If you couldn't get tickets and they sold out, you can still be a part of that process. And so they kind of took like when we talked about the Travis Scott situation, where it was like, we got 6 million people watching and how much money can be generated. Well, rather than selling out a 20,000 seat arena, now you can have 100,000 of your fans at a different ticketed price from their homes or even in a virtual space, watch it. So that's an interesting deal. I'm gonna follow that. I think everybody should also follow that because that type of situation, as far as technology and entertainment coming together, it's going to be a big situation in the future.
You've been holding Live Nation since 2020.
Yeah, man. It was down at it was crazy. It was down at $42 right when the pandemic hit, and I was like, I'm a huge concert goer. Like, again, it's one of those principles, like invest in where you're spending your money. And so I've been going to plenty of concerts, and I'm like, this is one of the companies I know obviously has been hit, but when the world opens back up, people are going to want to be back together, communing in concerts. And it was interesting because Bun B was talking about how hip hop and religion, the similarities, and when he was breaking it down, I was just like, yo, he's got a excellent like point right here. And so once people were able to come back into the space, you can see Live Nation, I mean, it hit an all-time high this year. And so now this deal makes a lot of sense because now you can touch more customers and they don't have to leave their own space if they don't want to. So that's
it's at 111.
Yeah,
it's the power of holding. Like it's like you said, it's a sleeper. Not many people. I haven't heard anybody outside of you talk about it. For it to be at 111, probably should be like 130 by the end of the year. Unless I want to give Chamath full credit for it, but he was talking about how since kids have been at home learning, it's affected their reading, and for adults, it actually affected the levels of depression and caused them to go up. So concert goers and outdoor venues can make the argument like it is healthier for you to be outside in communion with other people opposed to being locked in your house. Once we get these clearances and hopefully this next wave that's hitting China now doesn't come and affect us too bad, but yeah, the summer it could take off. But congrats for holding that for such a long
that was a good one.
Time.
And you said China, so we'll just, I mean, while we're here, I just want to condolences to everybody that was lost in the Boeing 737 crash. 132 people died in the crash. So, obviously Boeing pulled back today. So just, condolences to everybody that was lost and their families in the tragedy.
Yeah, for sure. And before we leave, financial planning blueprint, pay off debt, pay off your debt. It's extremely important. Do not invest before you pay off your credit card debt. Pay off your credit card debt. Have at least 6 to 12 months of savings. Extremely important. When you start investing, you should start investing in very safe investments, index funds, ETFs, things of that nature. Extremely high blue chip stocks like Apple, Microsoft. This is why Ian talks about these type of things. This is extremely important to understand that. Have life insurance. Extremely important to have your life insurance in order. Extremely important to have disability insurance. Extremely important to have a retirement plan. If your job has a 401k, try to contribute to the match. That is free money, right? You can invest in a 401k and a target date fund, which is geared towards your retirement. That's extremely safe, and that is something that will yield you money over the course of time. You can have a Roth IRA where you're putting money into your retirement account, and then you can get it out tax-free later on. If you want to save money for your children, you can have a 529 plan. That is a very good way to save for educational purposes. If you use the money for educational purposes, you do not pay taxes on it. If you don't want to just use money for education, you can have an UTMA account. You can go to any brokerage account and open an UTMA account for your child, and you can invest for them. And they can use that money when they're an adult, and they can use that money for whatever they want. You can also have a life insurance policy on your child, which will grow cash value over the course of time and have a death benefit. And you can hand that life insurance policy off to them when they get older. When you start to think about estate planning, it's extremely important to have a will and a trust in place. It's extremely important to have a healthcare proxy in place. It's extremely important to have a power of attorney in place. It is extremely important to have long-term care insurance in place for if and when you need that. You need to go to a nursing home or you need somebody to take care of you. Long-term care insurance is something that will provide that. Health insurance. Make sure you have health insurance, especially for entrepreneurs. Do not be cheap on your health insurance, because if you have to go to the hospital and you're not properly insured, that can bankrupt you.
Yes.
So make sure that your health insurance is in order. Extremely, extremely important. Okay. So just some financial planning.
I feel like we in 07 again.
Live below your means.
Yeah.
The key is to increase your income while keeping your expenses either flatlined or even lower. That is how you build wealth. The difference in that is money that you can take to invest. This is a pathway to generate wealth. Like I said, we're not here to provide any get-rich-quick schemes. We're here to provide information that you can actually use to benefit your life. What you do with it is up to you.
Yeah, I was saying, I feel like we in 07 back in the office, like when the first time I'm hearing all these terms.
I mean, that's because I actually did it for 12
years. I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, yo,
actually,
this is really how the meeting really went.
How many times we gotta go over
13 years ago.
People saying like, yo, they don't, like, I literally did this for 12 years,
yeah.
bro. Every single day for 12 years.
That's 12 years. Exactly, just the same way you just did it is the same way you did it 13 years ago. That's crazy. That's why I'm like, yo, I've heard this so many times. This is crazy.
The internet is a wonderful place.
It is. It could be a dangerous place. And before this, Ian, I got, because T.I. did hit me. And so what he sent me was this article about 90% of the trucking industry being automated in the next 10 to 15 years. And so he was like, what's your thoughts? And I quickly was like, all right, this is cool. You know, we already talked about the Tesla Semi, but I'm like, at the end of last year, I kind of gave a sleeper in the semiconductor industry, and it was on semiconductors. And people kind of probably missed it. They didn't really understand it. But like, if we're talking about semis, we're talking about automation. Why did I talk about on? I'm going to read you verbatim what they do, right? So they are an intelligent power technology company, and they focus on the electrification of the automotive industry that allows lighter and longer range electric vehicles and empowers faster charging systems. That's what on semiconductors do. And so if we're talking about, we know that gas emissions are going to be cut by 2035. If we're saying that automation is going to happen in the trucking industry, well, let's find the people that are putting the chips inside of these vehicles. And on semiconductor was one of those that we spoke about. And so if it's not on your watch list, make sure that you put it on your watch list. And look at this 5-year, look at this 10-year. Thank me later.
Long-term investing is the blueprint. There's a reason why. The internet is a digital orphanage for lost souls. And even with all the back and forth, you guys realize that even the reason why they allow the negativity is because you're able to monetize, well, the company is able to monetize more because the engagement is higher than something that's positive. Go on YouTube and type in morning affirmation video and look at those comments versus Meek Mill versus whomever, or DJ Academics, Warren Chirac. I'm not talking about you. I love you. But negativity gets a lot more clicks, but it's a lot less profitable. Stay focused. Don't let anyone trick you out of your spot. Invest for the long term. And if 2-Tech, 2-Index was so easy, did you guys hear anybody pair indexes and tech together prior?
No. That's yours. That's yours.
Just saying, like, we're giving you, as we're going through it, the adjustments and things that we're doing. It's not like we're just reading stuff from books. Like when Rashad told you guys in the meetup, only doing 12. Like I said, I don't know anybody that's made a lot of money from investing that's taking 90 trades in a year. It's not happening. Those that don't do and don't achieve end up complaining. And we tell you all the time, it's consistency. Spend less. That's why you don't see me with no bust down. Me at 20, boy, I would have looked like Mr. T with Busta Rhymes in 05 with the jury. I would have played bumper cards with the Bentley, right? Everybody I saw do that.
Legend.
Yo, me and Xander, boy, let him tap a 550 playing bumper cards with me, ideally. But then everyone I saw that did that, they end up losing their money or hit a down season. And then when they lose everything, a lot of their friend base goes away. A lot what you're seeing from people right now that are frustrated is the lack of execution. And I know the way I give it, I talk to this about Corey about this all the time. Like, I'm like, what can I do to make it more exciting? Because what I'm telling you to do is boring. The other stuff sounds amazing. Get 700,000% return and da da da. I'm like, you don't think Ireland would do that?
And also one thing too, if you take information and remix it, that's on you. If Ian said, if you said, okay, I'm gonna buy Square because Ian advised it, yeah, you might be down right now. He said to hold it for a long term. But if you decided, okay, I'm gonna put this on steroids and do a call for next month on Square, and you're down 80%, that's something that you gotta take responsibility for because that was never advised. So if somebody's saying, okay, this might be something to look into, put on your watch list, hold it for 20 years, you take that information, you try to supercharge it to get rich quick. That is what's called self-accountability. So don't remix the information and try to be like, all right, well, instead of buying Apple and holding it, I'm gonna buy this call for tomorrow. On it. For tomorrow. Oh, it didn't work. Apple didn't go up today. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
And like we said, the futures contracts, right? Just the cycle just ended, new cycle started. Guess what market's opening up? Russia. So everybody who had the puts, money evaporated. Now the Russian market is going to open back up. This is how the game is played. So even if, let's say, Tim Cook gets a cold, and I pray he never does, right? And you short it, who's to say they're going to let you short Apple long enough for you to even get profitability out of it? You don't think so? The thing that happened with Citadel and Robinhood, when everyone was like, that's wrong. You don't think that happens at every firm? If I run BlackRock and I see a bunch of people are taking a position against me, you don't think I'll call in a favor or two to make sure it doesn't happen? Come on, man. Whatever you're thinking, these banks and hedge funds are thinking. And I'm going to be honest, for those of you that love crypto, you scream from the mountaintops, we're going to take over banks with crypto. And those same banks went and took over all the big positions. Wealth moves in silence. That's all I'll say.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Market Mondays live, Houston. Get your tickets. Link in bio.
April 23rd.
Get your tickets before they sell out. They will sell out. If you saw it, and once again, people don't appreciate when they don't pay for something, they don't appreciate it. I guarantee you it will be 3 times more people in Houston than was in South by Southwest. And South by Southwest was a good crowd. But the bottom line is that South by Southwest was free. When you don't pay for something, you don't appreciate it. I say that to say Houston will sell out. So get your tickets. Anytime we do a show, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
You hear
We
that
ain't
sound?
even put in the surprises yet.
Please
You hear that
stay
sound?
tuned. Stock Club sale link in description of this video. 7 days back to the original $297.
And I don't mean to cut you. I'm never doing this again. After this, take the advice. Everyone who joins after this 7-day cycle must be by application. There will be no more deals unless Auntie Oprah tell me to do it. Or Rogan, no more. Auntie Gail going to have to call. You're going to have to apply first before you're let in. You're going to have to be interviewed.
Makes sense.
That makes
a lot of sense. And tomorrow, big episode. Anton Bellaton.
Another one.
Another one. Shout out to the UK Massive. I love you guys so much. Shout out to London. We got some big things planned for you guys. Soon reach. Troy.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ally again. Shout out to UM. We're not done. We got some really
I want to say it.
Nah. We ain't gonna say it yet.
One
thing at a time, man. We got some really incredible things that we got coming down the pipeline. So
Anna Wintour called me. Diddy, can we get Diddy out or something? Diddy,
where are you? Where are you?
Listen, I bought No Way Out 3 times as a Tupac fan. Can you come hang out?
Where is he? Where is Diddy?
Come on, man.
Oh, the devil.
I bought G-Dep album 4 times.
That is a question. Where is Diddy? We need to
find
him.
He's sipping De Leon and eating oranges. Not limes, not lemons.
He's living life.
Yeah. So shout out to all the earners. Shout out to the Red Panda family. We want to let you know about a great choice if you're looking to bank or invest. Ally is a leading digital financial service company with passionate customer service, innovative financial solutions, and are relentlessly focused on doing it right for customers and both communities. So get with Ally so you can save, invest, and spend on the things that matter to you. For everything we need, we're all better off with an Ally. Shout out to them. Their commercials is lit. Have you seen their commercials?
Yeah.
I like them.
Cooking.
They're cooking. They're cooking up right now. Shout out to them.
All right.
I mean, and of stock. We talk real quick, not to be biased.
Yeah, they have a good savings account too.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So shout out to Ella. All right, guys, stay healthy, stay encouraged, stay positive, and all y'all dissing Jigga. Y'all get half a ball.
Don't argue with fools. A wise man told me don't argue with fools.
Y'all get half a ball.
Because people from a distance can tell who's who.
Peace.
Love is love, y'all.
Love y'all.